So the question was, after she does a 2-hour hike with a lot of vertical gain, so pretty stiff exercise, the next day she feels fatigue and the need to take a nap. And is it okay? Is it okay to do that? And what is that doing? I think what I would say is, therefore, you are doing a high intensity workout the 2 hours you're hiking. If you intend to do a high intensity workout, then I think it's great. And you say, I'm going to have to pay that back. I'm going to have to recover. That means the next day is maybe a light walk and a long nap. If you don't intend to do that, if you said I do a 2-hour hike and I think it's easy even though it's really not, and then the next day I go and do a hard workout, and then the next day, so I think as long as you realize that you're consciously choosing your own best balance between intensity and duration and recovery. And by the way, a long, moderate intensity workout is a lot of work on your body, so you need to recover from that as well. But as long as you're conscious of this and say, now, if I do if I'm not in very good shape and I do a 4-hour hike with friends who are, I'm wiped out for 5 days. You've gone to an intensity level that's counterproductive for you, because you're not going to gain fitness by doing a 4-hour hike once a week. I mean, you will, but not as much as if you said, well, gosh, I'll do it with them every once in a while because they're my friends and it's fun. But mostly I'll say, I'll go halfway and turn. That's the strategy, is to understand that your body is ready for this much intensity with this much recovery. If by the 3rd day, the pop's back in your legs, so hard hike, rest day, feel pretty good, you're within, I think, a perfectly reasonable recovery window. Yeah.
On your DVD upstairs, you had various excellent numbers on the graph. You talked about the heart monitor here, but you didn't give us any numbers as to how the heart monitor related to that graph.
Well, so the question was basically, are there numbers that each of us can use for our heart rate target zones? The reason that there are no numbers in the DVD is specifically because there's no one set of numbers that applies to everybody. So if you go on, every gym has that chart on the wall, and those are very, very roughly accurate zones, but so broad that they're not very useful for anybody who really wants to take this seriously. It turns out it's not that hard to figure out where you should be individually. There's a test called the lactate threshold test, which you can actually do. You can do it with finger pricks and measuring your lactate and blah blah. You don't have to. There's a very simple way of doing it in the gym, which we put in the DVD. Once you know that, you kind of anchoring around that can figure out where your numbers is. So for me, if I'm going on an all-day hike, 110 to 115 is about the heart rate that I should go at when I'm trying to be really light. And if I'm above 140 to 150, I'm really going to start running out of gas way earlier than I would like over the course of the day. But those are my numbers. And if I actually got into better shape, those numbers would go up some. And if I got into worse shape, they go down some. And the numbers can vary enormously. So let's say that take a lactate threshold of 150. As for many people who are reasonably fit, it's somewhere roughly around there. Well, if that same person's been a couch potato for 20 years, their lactate threshold might be 100. And if they're very fit, it might be 170. Same person. So the point of the DVD was to say, you can individualize the heart rate monitor to be an incredibly powerful tool for you with a very simple test you can do yourself. It's not a 2-minute explanation. It's a 15-minute explanation. And that's why we put it in the DVD. And that, I think, one of the things I hope that the trainers here will do is take a look at the DVD, and then we can talk about incorporating simple lactate threshold testing, not the fancy one, but the simple one that you pretty much can do with yourself with a stopwatch and a piece of paper and a heart monitor.